Today we're going to talk about 3 important areas of your speech. We're going to talk about choreographing it, the environment you're going to speak in, and what you need to do to prepare for your actual speech. So when we talk of choreographing it, we're thinking of the space in which you will be and how you will use it. You will use your face, your words, your hands, and you'll use your body. You have the chance to move. When we tell stories and we include our whole body, we help engage our audience. And when we engage the audience, they pay more attention. And that's a successful speech. We want to use the whole area that's around us when we have that time. Sometimes we're speaking on a prepared stage, and there might be a lectern. There might be lights and cameras and 5,000 people. Or sometimes it's a small, intimate event with family and friends. The space will be different each time. So if we think of where we are speaking, it is easier to use that space well and engage the people we're talking to. So when we think of this environment, we want to think of the various things of the room, the stage itself. Is it high? Is it low? How much space, how much distance is between us and the audience? Is the stage so high and our audience so far away that there's an automatic barrier? How do we make that a little bit less and connect with them? We also need to think about the other sounds in the space that we're in. We need to stop and listen when we first get in that space. Are there lots of noises of plates in a restaurant and people walking past? Or are we going to be on a stage with people walking around our audience, around us possibly? So how are we going to need to project our voice? Do you need a microphone? Sometimes microphones are selected for you, sometimes you get to choose. But we need to understand, for women wearing earrings, a microphone on our face can cause noise. Or if we have a lapel mic, the noise of movement of fabric can be picked up and become much more than we want. We get to choose. We get to think about how we are going to connect with the audience. If you're using a lectern, and you have notes that you need to really pay attention to, you want to make sure that the lectern is high enough that you're not having to drop your head all the time. It disconnects the audience, and we're trying to connect with them all the time. And as we do all of this preparation, we want to think about the 5 senses. How are we going to help our audience feel what we're talking about? If you're talking about food and a wonderful experience or a terrible experience, you want their mouths to either water or go, oh no. You want to have them feel it. We also want to rehearse what we're doing. We need to practice. When Bill Gates was doing his speeches, when Steve Jobs would prepare for his 2-hour, 1-hour, 2-hour sessions, he would practice for months. Speaking for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, we still need to practice. We need to practice what we're saying in chunks around the different topics, but also the transitions between them. As we practice, the words become more natural. They become part of how we're going to speak, which means our voice will relax, our body will relax, and our movements become much more natural. But more of that later. We also need to think of the cultural differences in the space that we're in. How we use our hands and gestures, how we use our face will make a difference. All of these things might seem like a lot, but when we start speaking with friends and family, we start having a conversation that is directed with the people that we know and love, they're going to help support us. When we start talking with friends and bigger groups, they're going to want to listen. So step into owning the space that you are speaking from. Think of these things, prepare, and it will be much less stressful when you stand up to speak. Thanks. See you next time.